Well, hello, friends. It's Joni here at Joni's Journals. I have to move my chair in just a smidge. Welcome and welcome back. Oops, let me tilt my camera. You guys are on a bit of an angle. Sorry if I made you a little seasick there. I am here for my day 3. Now, before we get started, I did want to show you that I finished up our little bag that we made on day 1. I went back and I touched up with the stencil the side that we did together, and I have done the other side as well. Okay, I just wanted to show you that that was finished. Okay, so yeah, that did get done too. Now, I'm here for my day 3. Now, under normal circumstances, I will usually make a prototype so that I can show you what I'm doing before I do it. But in this case, I figured let's the 2 of us or the 1,500 and whatever I'm up to now. I will be doing my giveaway. I'll talk about that at another time, okay? Let's just look and let's do this together. Now, admittedly, I did start working on my envelope, and you can see I am not using my envelope as a true envelope. I'm using it as more of a little flip out that will go into my journal. Now, I have done some work. I have prepared the centerfold of my envelope, and what I've done is I've taken one of the photos out of the kit, and I had a big round 2.5-inch circle that kind of reminded me of a glowing moon, and I've glued that down on top of the moon that's already on this photo, and I've added some Tim Holtz ephemera to make my main background for my envelope. Now, you will know if you have read the poem, I've trimmed my tag down to be a little bit of a little square. The poem for this day, which is day 3, reads, "Far in the forest, dim and old, for her may some tall vault unfold, some vault that oft hath flung," which I'm saying, interpreting is often have flown, "black and winged panels fluttering back." So I picked this picture because this kind of reminded me of a vault that you would find in a cemetery. I know most vaults are buildings, but hey, we're going to run with it, okay? So like I said, I have trimmed my tag, because this poem did come in a tag shape, down to a little square, almost rectangular shape. And what I'm going to do is I am going to glue that onto the inside flap of my envelope. Now, I have picked out another photo from the kit, which will go on the outside back of my envelope, but we'll do that after. Now, I'm turning my envelope on the side because I also have some other things that we're going to be adding to here, and we're going to be adding them in different ways and directions. So I'm going to grab my glue out, and I am simply going to take my little poem, and I'm going to put some glue on the back, okay, and we're going to glue our poem onto our envelope flap. Now we're going to go as close to the edge of the envelope as we can, and I mean here, where the envelope folds, and we're going to kind of center it there, because we're going to add a little piece of Velcro here to keep our envelope closed. Okay, so we have our poem on our envelope. Now I have picked out 2 bats, which I don't really know if you can see it. I've used my Jelly Roll pen, which is sort of like a glittery white pen, to highlight my bat's eyes. And I'm going to keep tilting this so maybe you can see that they are a little bit white in the center. And I've inked the edges of my bats with black. And I'm going to have one of my bats flying into the cemetery from the bottom here. So we're going to add some glue. I hope you guys went over and watched my day one interpretation of the kit. I did do a couple of things the same way that Tracie did, but I did add my own little spin. So we're going to have a little bat flying in to the cemetery from the bottom. And I like the background that I chose for this envelope because it's sort of, the green kind of makes it feel like it's grassy and mossy. And then we're going to add another bat up here at the top, and he's flying into the cemetery from this direction. So I'm going to turn my envelope around, and I'm going to add some glue to the back of my bat. Okay. And we're going to make this bat flying into the cemetery from this direction. So I thought it was fun that we kind of had something going in each direction on the inside of our envelope. We're going to pull him over so that his wing doesn't interfere when we fold our envelope closed. So there we have our little bats flying into our cemetery. Now, we also have a little bit of a grotesque image because, of course, this is supposed to be a little bit spooky. And what I've done is I've cut out one of the larger ravens, which is in the ephemera pack. And again, I highlighted his eye with my Jelly Roll pen. Excuse me. I am nursing a cold. Okay. Highlighted his eye with a little bit of the white Jelly Roll pen. And I also used my black Jelly Roll pen to make a little bit of a line underneath that white to kind of highlight it. And so we're going to take our raven and we're going to make it look like he's pecking at a heart that he has found in the cemetery when that vault opened. Because again, our raven has black wings and birds do flutter. So he's fluttering around and he's pecking at this little heart. Now what I'm going to have to do is I want to lay it out so that my raven kind of looks like he's standing on something. And here we have this little green section here, which could look like a tree. And we're going to slide our heart in and we're going to put it just under his beak. Okay. So that it looks like he's pecking at the center of the heart, the meaty part. How gross is that? And I'm going to take my little pencil here and I'm going to make a pencil mark up here like so that I can see where I'm putting my heart back to. Okay. And we're just going to glue the heart down. Okay. Onto, I hope you've been going over and checking out everybody else's makes. I know Bella Boo Creations has been following along. She played along, and I believe she was also a creator last year for Creep on June. Okay, so she does some pretty spooky things as well. So I hope you're going over and checking her out. And then we are going to add our raven. And again, we're going to make sure that he's far enough away from the crease of our envelope. And we're going to make him look like he's standing on this little leaf here. And we're going to glue him down so he can peck away at the heart that he's found when the vault opened in this cemetery. Okay, we're going to add a little glue all around on his feet so everything stays stuck down. Yeah, this is going to be a relatively short video compared to my day, which was day 2, and also to my day 1 interpretation video, because we did cover a lot in that video. And so now we have our raven stuck down. And again, so now we can turn our envelope on all sorts of angles and we have something to look at. Okay, let's turn this over. And I want to make sure, yes, that's facing in the right direction. And now we're going to add our spooky little forest image because, of course, when a vault opens in a cemetery, everything is spooky. And you can see the black bat wings and the black raven wings all fluttering in the mist. That's about as spooky as I get. And then we're just going to kind of lay this down, and we're going to center it onto our envelope, like so. Okay, we're not going to decorate these flaps because we want it to open up into our scene. We kind of want people to get a little bit of a shock, I guess, when they open the envelope. And now I do have one bat left, and I wanted to put him onto a dangle and make him dangle off the side of the envelope. So I'm just trying to see how I can best do that. I'm going to grab my crocodile right here, and I am going to open up my envelope again, and I'm going to see where I want to put my hole, because we're going to add an eyelet here. And I want to close the envelope up here. So I think what we'll do is we'll put our hole right about here, pretty close to the edge of our envelope. And let me grab an eyelet. Oh, goodness gracious. I should have taken this down before, but I wasn't thinking. Okay, let's grab, I don't have anything green, so let's just grab a grayish silver toned eyelet, and we'll add our eyelet onto here. Okay, and this way we have a place for our little bat to dangle from, so that when you look at the envelope, you'll get an idea that, there's a bat on the outside. I wonder what's going on in the inside. Okay, so we have our little eyelet here. Okay, and I'm going to punch a little hole in my bat, who, as usual, is decorated on both sides. And I'm going to use my crocodile, like we did on my make, to punch a hole in his wing, okay, so that he can hang down off of a bulb pin. And I think, nope, that's my gems. Let's see. Oh, here's my bulb pins. And we'll try to find a black toned one. And we will put that through our bat's wing. And we will put that also through our little eyelet here. Okay, so we have our little bat hanging off of our envelope. And now we're going to add our Velcro closure. I'm going to go over and I'm going to grab some of my Velcro dots. And we're going to add our Velcro closure. Now, I'm sure you've seen me do this before. I will normally add one side of my Velcro closure to whatever I happen to be putting it on. And I will add that right here in the center up here at the top of the envelope. And then I take my other side of my Velcro and I will adhere those together like so. Okay. And then I am going to close my envelope and I am going to fold my envelope closed, and I'm going to push down so that now my Velcro will adhere on both sides and it'll be in the perfect place. Okay, so that's what our envelope looks like on the outside. And here I am going to open up my Velcro closure and we're going to take a look at the inside of our little envelope here. Okay, we have that little scene that I put in there with some mushrooms and a handle with care. I put this down here because I knew how I wanted to position this card, and there was too big of a space down here. So I found a black piece of ephemera from the Tim Holtz ephemera kit, and the name of it is escaping me right now, so that I could kind of cover up this empty spot. Okay, we have our raven pecking away at our heart, and we have our bats flying into our cemetery scene. And we can close it up again, like so. And we'll attach our Velcro. And again, we have our little bat hanging on the outside and our spooky little scene of darkness in the forest or darkness at the cemetery. And there we go. That is my day 3 make. I know it was a short video, but yesterday's video was a little bit long, so I figured I'd give you an easy one today. Okay, guys? Again, I am astounded at the number of views I got for my day. I can't believe I've had over 1,000 views and over 50 comments, and I have, I believe at last count it was 72 new subscribers. So like I said, I will be doing that 1,500 subscriber giveaway, but I have to kind of figure out when I'm going to do that, and we will get that done. Okay, guys, I want to thank you again. Welcome to all my new subscribers. And with that said, I am going to send you lots of love and big hugs and ask you please to remember to like, subscribe, and comment. I will link the calendar below as well as the kit. And go over to Tracie's website and become a member. Make a password that you're going to remember. Okay, write it down once you've done it. Become a member of the website. And yeah, I guess that's it for now. Okay, guys, so I'm going to say goodbye, and I will see you soon. I will be back again tomorrow with my day 4 interpretation. Okay, see you soon, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.